Welcome to yet another episode of the Savvy Offer Hub podcast. Today I'm coming to you from a place of pure chaos. And I mean it literally because I woke up and I decided to reorganize my whole living room. And I've been doing that for like 3 hours. But I have to say, it's the best way how to generate some new ideas. Not reorganizing per se, but just stepping out of what you normally do and just doing something else, especially when it comes to like business, just doing something away from the laptop, doing something away from the actual business thing. It just opens up your mind to having that opportunity to actually think about things. In my mind, it literally just opens it up to figure new things out, like to open up to new ideas. Now, that being said, as I was reorganizing everything without much of a plan and just because I felt like I have to, and in the middle of everything, I sat down to write some things down, and then that snowball effect happened. As soon as I start writing, I have some new clarifications, some new directions, some even more ideas. And so I'm here now recording it right this second amongst everything else that is happening. The room is still unfinished. There's still a lot to organize and do, but I felt like I just have to put this out there while I'm here. And I want to talk about how keeping things simple can help you to build a better business. This will be specifically with the focus on how you create the content, how you create your course, how you create your offers, but it will really apply for anything else as well. And one of the reasons why I started thinking about this is because I sat down to write some notes for my upcoming live program. Starting from January, there's going to be course creation bootcamp happening again, and I'm super excited to have it out there again. It's a live 3-month program, and I'm about to open doors in November. At the time when you're listening this, the doors are probably open already. I will share the link in the description. And for 2 months, you can enroll and save your spot for getting started in January. I'm super excited to really have it out there again. But here's the thing. I have had this product, I have had this program in many different shapes and forms over years. And this year, I decided to revamp it and look into it more and actually make sure that literally every step along the way, you're going to be supported. Every course relevant decision you have to make, I want to make sure that there's a guide for that and you have the opportunity to work through everything step by step. Now, as I was working on this content, I was writing about video creation. And video creation, like recording videos for your course, is one of the biggest roadblocks for most course creators, especially if this is your first offer, and even more so if you're not really that active on like social media, you're not as familiar with video content creation, maybe you've never really done it before. It can be a lot, and it doesn't even matter what type of video content you want to create. It will require, some setups. It will require for you to probably learn some new tools, to experiment a bit before you actually get to that final product. But here's the thing, and this is also something I put into that lesson for the bootcamp, and that is what triggered me wanting to actually talk more about it here as well. I've been working with course creators for 10 years, and I have seen so many different variations when it comes to creating digital products. And the thing is that, for example, some people, they have hired like videographers. They have rented studios to record their content. They have made sure that every step along the way is thought through and somebody is taking care of that. I have also had clients who have literally recorded their courses in their closets. Because of the acoustics, closets can be a great space to record your videos. And I actually had a client who her content was in a Google document with links to the videos. So literally like all of the material was in the document, and then there were some videos, I think the videos are maybe on YouTube, and she just had them linked in the document. So if you purchase the product, you get the document. And she didn't have a platform. At that time, she didn't even care for the platform, and she was making sales. My point with all of this is that you don't have to create the best possible product, the best possible materials to be successful. In my experience, there have never been like one specific type of course or one specific type of like creating materials that does better than the others. And just because a person like had that video studio and videographer and like video editor, it doesn't make their course better. And in fact, it often makes people procrastinate more. It lengthens the time of getting that course out there, and it makes it a lot harder for them to improve their own product later down the line. And this actually leads me to the point why I wanted to record this podcast in the first place. I understand the urge, especially if you are a perfectionist or you just love to get things done in as great manner as possible. I understand the urge to create like whatever you're about to put out there, you just want to make sure that it's the best possible version. And as you get into the video creation, it's very easy to go down that rabbit hole where you're thinking, okay, I have a microphone, but I do need a better one. I have a camera, but I do need a better one. I'm recording this video in this room, but I probably need some additional light. And yes, this video was great, but I probably need to do something more or do something better. And that cycle, it's just never ending. There's always something better you can do. The question is, do you actually have to do it? And the answer is no. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not against outsourcing anything. If you feel like you want to outsource a specific part of video creation or a specific part of course creation in general, or there's anything else you want help and support with, do it. I'm all for it. But you don't need to do it, and you don't need to always upgrade and do better to create a better product. In fact, especially if you're just getting started, especially if this might be your first course or like the first big offer, you want to do kind of the opposite. You want to make sure that you find a way to create your offer in a way that is the simplest, most seamless way specifically for you. You want to be able to do all of these tasks yourself if you choose to, because then you have a complete freedom to later do whatever you want with your content. So if you are at home with your microphone, with your laptop camera, recording your videos, and later down the road, you're like, okay, I do want to add more lessons. Or maybe there is something like some feedback you're getting from your audience. They're missing something and you feel like there is some revamp you might do. Or there's anything else specific that you might want to add. You have the freedom to do that. You can go into that content at any time. Create additional lesson, edit something out. You know how to get these things done. You can do it without like planning, thinking, paying. You don't need to invest in anything more. You can literally sit down and do it yourself. That's why, in my experience, it has always been very crucial that course creators, at least at first, learn to do these things themselves. And the simpler you keep it, the easier it will be for you to manage the content, for you to manage the offer, for you to actually see how the demand is working, what it is that you could, if you have to, and it doesn't mean that you will always have to, but often that is the case where you have to make some updates or you have to go into the content and do something for it to be like more aligned with your audience. And if you have gone that extra mile or like very, very extra mile to create like the best product, the best content, it will be so much harder for you to actually later make the updates. It's just simple as that. Think about like renting a studio, renting videographer, editor, and so on. Now every time you want to make an update, you have to go that long route. You have to invest more and more and more. And again, it's not that you should never do that. It's not that, it's the wrong approach. If you feel like it, if that's the path you want to choose, go for it. But if you're in the beginning phases and you're thinking that you have to have all of that to create a good product, that is not the case. Now, Course Creation Bootcamp that is gonna start in January will be amazing opportunity for you to actually learn everything you need to know to create your own online course. Plus, along with the content that you're gonna receive over the period of 3 months, you will also be getting my support every Friday. Full day, you will have access to me on Voxer, where you can ask your questions, where you can share your process, you can share the work you have done. We can chat more about like your strategy, the direction you're taking. You can get that accountability and support that you might need to actually get your offer to the finish line. And ultimately, once you learn all of this, all doors are open for you. You can do anything. Even if right now you're thinking about just creating, a small product, like a small course. Once you learn how to actually make it happen, how to create, how to set it up, how to launch it, and how to sell it repeatedly, you can from there on do whatever you want with your products, with your courses, it doesn't have to be a course always, it can be any other digital product as well. You will have that pathway that you can follow yourself at any time. To learn more about the bootcamp and save your spot, make sure to check the link in description. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me on Instagram at Course Creation Lab. That will be it from me for this time, and I hope to see you in the next episode.